Welcome to First Take Math with Brian Thomas. Today we're going to work with factors. Factors are very important for algebra. And today we're going to focus on the definition of what factors are. Again, factors are what we call the building blocks to algebra. And a simple definition for factors is the pieces joined together by multiplication. So when we look at this multiplication problem, 7 times 5 is equal to 35. The 7 and 5 are called the factors. Okay? So keep in mind right now, 7 and 5 are called the factors to this problem. And of course, 35 is called the product. But we're going to focus on what's being multiplied together. Our lesson today, we're going to talk about determining the factors of a number. And a good way to do this is we're going to go in pairs. So let's look at this example. List the factors of 24. So when we have a 24, we start with the number 1. And we ask ourselves, will 1 go into 24? Or what times 1 is 24? And of course we know 1 times 24 is 24. So those are called the factors of 24. After 1, we would go to the number 2. And 2 does go into 24. Since 24 is even, we know all even numbers can be divided by 2. So how many 2's go into 24 would be 12. Or in other words, 2 times 12 is 24. I then move into 3. Does 3 go into 24? And that answer is yes. 3 times 8 is 24. And then I move into 4. Does 4 go into 24? Well, 4 times 6 is 24. And then we move to 5. Does 5 go into 24? We don't hear that. So 5 is not a factor of 24. But notice that 6 is a factor of 24. And once we get to that spot, once we see a factor repeat, we want to stop. So again, stop when you see a factor repeat. And since that's 6 repeated, that tells me that I have the whole list. So the list of factors would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. So that would be all the factors of 24. And remember, to be a factor of 24, these numbers have to be able to divide evenly into 24, and they all do. Let's look at this next example. List the factors of 42. Again, our strategy is to use division to find the pair. And again, we're going to just start with 1. Does 1 go into 42? In other words, can you divide 42 by 1? And you can, and you would get 42. So 1 times 42 are factors of 42. Then we move to 2. Does 2 go into 42? And that answer would be yes. 42 is an even number, so we know all even numbers can be divided by 42. So 2 would go into 42 21 times. Or in other words, half of 42 is 21. So 2 times 21 is 42. 3 would go into 42. I'll probably have to use a calculator for that one. And 42 divided by 3 would be 14. Again, I can verify that with a calculator. Does 4 go into 42? Again, using a calculator, 42 divided by 4, we're going to find that that doesn't happen. So 4 is not a factor. We also know 5 is not a factor because to be a 5, this step would have to end in a 0 or a 5, and it doesn't. So 5 is out. I wouldn't need a calculator for that. 6 is a factor of 42 because I know my math facts. 6 times 7 is 42. And 7 is a factor of 42. And notice that we repeat at that point. So that tells me I can stop looking for factors. So my factors are going to be 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 14, 21, and 42. So that would be all the factors of 42 that we're looking for. So step 1 and 42, that's my smallest and my largest. All the remaining factors have to be in between there. So that's going to conclude our lesson on factors.